Alright guys, welcome back. For those of you that watched video number 1 and are back for video number 2 of the old school baits unboxing, I appreciate you guys coming back to check it out. Hopefully you guys watched all of video number 1, and I appreciated all of your guys' comments, all of your thumbs up. If you guys haven't seen video number 1, I will put it above so you guys can check that out. This is the second part of the unboxing. The box of baits I started unboxing was taking a lot longer than I thought it would. It is a lot of baits, so I decided to cut it off and make 2 videos. This is the second, so make sure to go check out video number 1 if you hadn't. For those of you that don't know what's going on, these are old school baits, a bunch of just old baits from my dad's extras, as he would call it. My dad is a junkie. He collects baits just like I do. He's got more baits than anybody that I've ever seen, and he's got crates and crates and crates of just extra baits. I was given permission to go through some extra baits and add to my collection, so anything that he had a bunch of, I grabbed some of the spares. Still gave him the opportunity to fish these baits if he wants to, but I definitely grabbed the spares that I was interested in. Some of these baits aren't insanely old. Like I said in the first one, some of these are 50, 40, 30 years old, older than me. And then some of these are 10 years old. Some of these are 5 years old. But these are just older baits you don't see very often. Nobody really throws them that much anymore. Or if they do, you don't really see too many people throwing them. So some of these baits are baits that are newer that I had. I think there's like 4 of them that I threw in here because this was just a box of baits that I had in the garage. So I showed those off as well. They're kind of the newer edition of some unboxing baits that I had. But let's get to it. We're 2 minutes in. I'll start pulling up some baits. So again, this is 2 of 2. In no order, I'm just going to start grabbing them out of the box. The Yum Dancing Eel. For those of you that are a Bill Dance fan, you guys know about the old school dancing eel. I've actually never caught a fish with the dancing eel, so when I found these, my dad has a bunch of them. Like I said, my dad has every lure you could ever imagine. So when I saw these, he has a ton of them. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a video of me catching a bass on the dancing eel. This was one of those ones that when I was a kid, you'd see them on TV all the time. It was like those infomercials or whatever you call them, where this is the new hot bait and it gets made fun of a lot. So I saw it, I want to throw it, I want to catch a fish on it. It says, obviously it's made by Yum, the Dancing Eel, exclusive scent chamber. So you're supposed to get Yum scent, put it inside a little hole right here and spray the Yum scent up inside the Dancing Eel. But obviously just a crankbait eel, and it'll catch fish. It does catch fish. I've seen people catch fish on it, but I've never caught a fish on it, so I'm gonna fish it and give it a try. A Magnum rattle trap. This is one of those ones that like I said, not everything is crazy old in here, but these aren't really easy to find. You can find them if you search hard enough, but since my dad had them with a bunch of them, I grabbed them. It's just a one ounce giant rattle trap. I don't own any until now, so insanely loud. Here's another one. Obviously that's going to be insanely loud. It's going to give off a ton of flash. That's gonna create some commotion in the water. It's going to attract some fish for sure, or it's going to make them run. One of the two. We'll see. But I don't own any of those, so I grabbed 2 of them. Here's a old school little popper heading. This was Excalibur kind of made these famous when Excalibur teamed up and kind of put their hooks on them. This isn't one of the Excalibur versions, but it is one of the ones that a lot of people love to find, love to spend money on eBay. Some people think this is the greatest popper of all time. My brother actually caught his personal best on one of these poppers, so I know they work. I've caught a ton of fish off of them. I don't see that color very often, even on eBay, so when I saw that color, I had to have it. And of course, my dad had a few of them. So older head and bait. I think these were late 90s when these were put out, 95, 96 time frame. So that should be a Good little topwater addition to my box. Going back, here's another lipless, 3/4 ounce. Some of you guys may recognize these. These were called the Diamond Shads, made by Strike King. This is the older Strike King baits. There's a picture of Kevin Van Dam. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that or not, but look how young Kevin Van Dam is in that photo. That's how you know that these are old school. 3/4 ounce. They call it the Diamond Shad because it's got those diamond scales engraved in the plastic, and it's supposed to give off more flash. I grew up fishing these. They do catch fish, but I don't have any of the 3/4 ounces. So I grabbed a few of those and grabbed 3 of them total. There's a gold blackback, again 3/4 ounce Strike King Diamond Shad, and then there's a blue and chrome, classic Rattle Trap colors, or classic Diamond Shad colors, and Rattle Trap. All right. This one I'm really excited about. Cotton Cordell Suspender. I showed one of those in the first video. It's actually right here still. Same exact 2 baits. They're Suspending Cotton Cordells. This is a 1/2 ounce suspender, but I really love that color. Nice little springtime pre-spawn color there. Crawdad. These are hard to find. These go for big money. A lot of people want these suspending lipless baits, and finally you're seeing companies bring these suspending lipless baits back. Ima makes one, and then 6 Cents makes one. Those are the 2 newer ones that I know of. But suspending Rattle Trap, burn it, rip it through weeds, pause it, and it just stops. They get chewed on. Old school little, wow man, I don't even know who makes this. Oh, they call it the Road Runner. Just a little hair jig underspin. Newer companies make these. They're not too rare, but it's just something that I want to give a try. I've never fished one before. They're pretty heavy, but I like the hair combined with the underspin. So it's just something that I don't think they see very often anymore. One of those old baits where, you know, one of the original underspins, and I wanted to give it a try. So again, one of those older baits that I just wanted to try out. Everybody knows about the Ricos. Everybody spends a ton of money on the Ricos. These are the older Rick Clunn Ricos. The future, and then it says attainable now. People go crazy for these. So actually these are a Japanese bait, and these will go for $20+ on brand new, the newer version. This older version would go for a lot more. So my dad doesn't even really like them. I don't really throw the Ricos as much, but it's one of the most popular top water poppers of all time. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna throw them a lot more. I got a few of them. Here, these are the ones that I like. These are the Don Iovino Splashits. Don Iovino, famous West Coast angler. He's known for finesse fishing, doodling, is kind of drop shotting. Very, very, very good finesse angler. Old school, one of the greatest finesse anglers of all time. And he made a popper series called the Splash It. I fish the Splash It 2 a lot. I've got some videos throwing the Splash It 2 in tournaments. This is the Splash It 1, but these are old Splash Its. So it's probably made out of some different plastic. I'm excited to try these. He always has great colors, and they flat out catch fish. So I was excited to see those brand new in the boxes. Here's another one. This is a black with gold chrome sides. I don't own any with colors like this. I own more shad profiles, so I'm excited again. Old school Don Iovino Splash It. And then again, another one in a different color. That's kind of a ghost shad metallic color. It's not the same Splashits that are made today. They're going to be made out of a different plastic. They're going to make different noises, and there's a lot like this one. These paint schemes they don't really do anymore. So just something again that these fish haven't seen. So old school Don Iovino Splash It poppers. As you can see, I grabbed 4 of them. I'm obsessed with those baits. Johnson Silver Minnow. For the people that are older, you guys know all about this bait. This bait has caught hundreds of thousands of fish, you know, since it's been made. It's one of the OG original blade baits. It's weedless. you can drop it in the thick, heavy stuff. It'll go right through it. And something that I've actually never caught a fish on. So I grabbed it. He had a bunch of them, put some trailers on them. All sorts of different ways you can fish these. Reel them, jig them, throw them in the muck. Kind of almost like not really a punch with them, but find those gaps in the weeds, drop them in there, and they do get bit in the reeds. So again, that'll be for another video. Here's again another old school Rick Clun Rico. That's what they call hollow shad, that color, just a good little shad color. And old Rico, worth some good money, but I don't sell these things. I want to catch fish with them. That's what they were intended for, so that's what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to try. Here's an old Bill Lewis rattle trap, excuse me. Old school Bill Lewis rattle trap red zone in that tomato craw color. And obviously you can see right there it's suspending. That's what's so good about these red zones. And very old, this one. I don't even know. It says NetX, produced by NetX, but it is a suspending red zone rattle trap. It says right there. So it's still made. It's Bill Lewis Lures. I don't know what the NetX thing is on the back here, but these are the old school, one of the original suspending rattle traps. All right. Obviously this one was opened by my dad because the bait is on the other side. This is the Strike King King Shad. These are no longer made anymore. People go crazy to get their hands on these. This was actually the first bait in my life I ever casted with a bait caster. So, you know, almost like a wake bait. You can wake it, you can crank it, it gets down a little bit at 3 to 5 feet if you want to burn it. A lot of people burn these and stop them, kill them. I've had better success actually slow waking this, but it's not their wake shad. This is the King Shad, so it isn't originally designed to be a wake bait. They make a wake shad, the bill's going to come straight down. It's not going to be angled like this crank shad is. But again, this is the King Shad by Strike King. This is old school Strike King bait, no longer made anymore. But if you're looking for something newer, Sixth Sense has basically made this bait. They make it now. They call it like the Speed Shad or something. It's the same exact thing. So excited. I like the trout color. Bass Pro Shops Tornado Spinnerbait. For those that know, this thing flat out catches fish. When I was little, this was one of the first spinnerbaits I ever threw. Obviously, the crazy thing about the Tornado is it's got this insanely weird blade. It's like folded over at the bottom, and then it's got this little clanger piece. I always called it, when I was little, the dinner bell. As it spins through the water, it's getting hitting that metal tin, so it's almost like a chatterbait, kind of. You know, it's kind of making that a rattle or rattling spinnerbait. Just something that was really different. I wish Bass Pro Shop would still make these. If you try to buy them on eBay right now, they're like $49.99 in the package. I own, I think, 3 of them, 2 that I fish with, and then I was able to find this one. My dad has a bunch of them, so now I own 3. And if I ever get these hung up, I'm jumping in the water and I'm getting them. I don't care how cold it is. I will get this bait back. So, awesome bait. I'll do a video about it one of these days. Old school 38 special edition. This is a Strike King. Again, this is one of those lures that I remember fishing as a little kid. He had a bunch in this white color, so I grabbed one. Just a great old school spinnerbait. It's got the hammered blades. It says Diamond Dust, which is just a sparkle on those painted white blades. Something that you're going to throw in dirty water. And they get bit. I know that. It's super cool to see these in the old school packages. All right. This is the Castaic Platinum Series. So it's a floater. I grabbed all the ones that I grabbed that are the Platinum Series. I grabbed a few sizes. I grabbed the floaters just because I want to watch the action of them. These things have crazy action, but my dad says they don't hold up one bit. So you're going to catch maybe 2 bass on them and they're going to be ruined. But that thing is the perfect size for just a big, 6+ pound snack to come up and just smoke that thing off the surface. So my dad says they have great action. I've never thrown them, but I'm going to give them a try for sure. Cool little bait there. Here's the bigger version. This is kind of more my style. That's an 8-incher, and you know, that's kind of more the size swim baits that I like to throw. But look at how realistic that stuff is, even back in the day. I mean, that thing looks just like a trout. So I'm excited to toss that thing around. We're coming up on swim bait season, especially the way that I like to throw swim baits. All right, sticking with the swim bait game, check this out, guys. This is the Castaic Rock Hard Platinum Series, the Mike Long Signature Series swim baits. For those of you that follow the San Diego area or big swim bait fishing, you guys know all about Mike Long. The dude is a phony, an embarrassment to bass fishing, but obviously, back in the day, everybody thought he was one of the best big bait, big bass fishermen in the entire world. You know, only as of recent did people find out that he's been snagging bass for years, and there had been suspicion of him being a cheater in many tournaments. He was recently caught on video snagging bass, and he's been hiding ever since. Nobody's heard about what he's doing. He lost all his sponsorships, have all gone away. But old school Castaic, Mike Long series, I pretty much grabbed it because it's Mike Long series, and I am going to catch a fish on this thing, and I will do it legally. I will not snag one, but it looks like a pretty horribly made swim bait. It is the hard version. It looks terrible. The tail looks terrible, but I'm going to catch a fish on it for you guys and for Mike Long. All right, 316 Lure Company. So nowadays, 316 is pretty popular for people that throw big swim baits. You guys know all about 316, no matter how you feel about the owner and his prices. My dad was a 316 OG. He's been buying from 316 before 316 even was close to up and off the ground. When they were brand new, my dad was buying their baits, and they know that. So I wouldn't say he's got it in with 316, but they know who he is. He knows who they are, and he has a ton of 316 baits. So I grew up throwing 316 swim baits. 20 years ago, I was throwing 316 swim baits. It was one of the first swim baits I ever threw. It actually was the first swim bait I ever threw in my life. Big swim baits, not this, big swim baits. I'm talking Armageddons, for those of you guys that know. That's what I was throwing when I was 10 years old. So I see these. My dad has a bunch of them. These are lined through bluegill swim baits. These things get chewed. Lots of people pay pretty good money for them. Everything 316 is expensive. So grab one of these. And then I've never seen this bait made by 316. I don't think they make it anymore. It's called the Little Booger. It's basically like a swim bait / popper in one, and it's a line through. I'm sure they don't make it anymore because they weren't very successful, but my dad had a ton of them, like over 50 of these packages. So I grabbed one. Why not? You know, maybe if I can catch some fish on them, I'll be one of the only people throwing them. I've never even heard of them, and I know a lot about 316. So we're getting to the end. I'm trying to speed it up for you guys. I'm almost done. Here is the Siba Swimmer. Most of you guys know about the Siba Swimmer. I won't call this a swim bait, but people do call it a swim bait. These things apparently catch fish in other parts of the country with blueback herrings in their waters. So I know people have been paying pretty good prices to get their hands on them. This is one of the old school ones, one of the originals. And my dad has a bunch of them, so I snagged up one, and I'll start throwing them out west here and see if I can get anything come up and smash it. But to me, that's not a swim bait. It's more of like a jerk bait, but people are calling them swim baits, so whatever. I'll give it a shot and see what happens. My dad had enough to give it a try. Old school Storm Thin Fin. I mean, you can see how old school it is. Just the box is like stained yellow. It hasn't even been cracked open. My dad, like I said, has a billion of these things. They go for a pretty decent amount of money on eBay. They're not easy to get. Like I said in the original video, I unboxed another one. They cast like a potato chip, but they do catch fish. So if you can get them out there, get some wind to your back, throw them out there, usually on a spinning setup. Little flat side finessey bait there. They do catch fish. Just excited to have, you know, some of those older ones. And again, they don't make those anymore. This thing, I don't even know what this thing is. It has no labels at all. It's kind of like the Weed Walker made by Norman, but it's got an inline buzzbait to it that's got no squeak to it, but it's got holes. It's going to leave a bubble trail. The blades are different size. So you see this one's shorter and skinnier, and then this one's thicker. So it's going to spin. I mean, it's going to spin pretty good, ripping it across the top. And then obviously this is going to plane it out. That's going to make it, and then it's got some flash. It's a hammered blade. So it's going to create some flash. This is going to create some noise. It's going to create a bubble trail with the holes. And then you've got the weedless up top here, and the hook's going to come up. So you're going to be able to run this over the top of weeds, through weeds, as long as this bait doesn't, or the blade doesn't really get hung up. We'll see, but I'm going to attach a little swim bait, you know, like a gambler easy swimmer on the back of this. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for the video. I was pretty much almost done with the remainder of the baits in the box, but for whatever reason, the GoPro just cut off. I'm not sure what happened, but I lost the footage of the last of the unboxing, and I already unboxed the lures and put them all away. So I'm not quite sure which ones I didn't show you, but all I know is I was very close to being done. I think the rest of it was all swim baits, made by Castaic, just older swim baits, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching the entire video. I know both videos were pretty lengthy, video number 1 and this video, but there was a lot to unbox, a ton of old school baits that I was able to collect and put in my arsenal, and just some stuff I thought maybe you guys would like to see. As for new things coming, I will be releasing a video here soon within the next couple days talking about what to expect on this channel for the tournament season and moving forward. So I will have some updates as well as some new kayak accessories that I'll show you guys, but that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you liked what you saw, hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment if you fished any of these lures before, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My videos will be picking up some steam here shortly. As I said, the season is about to kick off. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the water.